In 1972, after years of writing nothing but flops, Tennessee Williams was ready to try again at the age of 61. His newest play, Small Craft Warnings, was staged at a tiny theater in downtown Manhattan.
But this play
The publicity campaign included a press conference that was painful to watch because of Williams' obvious drunkenness.
Because, darling, you have worked so, I won't say goddamn unless you let me. Is this all right? You work so goddamn hard, love. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't think you know how much I love actors. They're my life. They're the blood that keeps me alive. Actors like you and like Candy.
Williams himself acted in the play, but it was ridiculed by audiences and critics alike. Even his friends debated whether Williams' magic touch had vanished forever.
I'm always amazed at people who claim that the plays never got less good, because I think they did, and I think Tennessee knew it. And yes, it more or less did him in.
As far as his being a failed playwright, believe me, it was more the people among his friends and among critics who failed him.
But no matter how bad the reviews, Williams never stopped writing and never stopped believing the next play would be the one.
I doubt that I can write a play that will become a classic, but I can write a successful play if I'm given a chance to. After all, I'm not senile, I don't believe.
One final blow came in 1980. Williams had great expectations for his play, Clothes for a Summer Hotel. But when it opened in Washington, one reviewer called it vacant. Another said the play was illiterate, and Williams fired back.
And I wrote him. I'm sick of some of those critics. I won't take that shit no more. You can keep that in, too. On the record.
His heart was broken, and I think when that last play failed, that was it for him. He felt that there was no hope.
In early 1983, Williams seemed to give up. He had absolutely no energy, nothing left to offer. On a visit to New York, he checked into the Elysee Hotel, which he called the Easy Lay because of his many sexual encounters there. On the night of February 24th, Williams went to his room, which was well stocked with wine and sleeping pills. The next morning, he was found dead at age 71.
The announcement came on the radio first. By afternoon, before the body was finally removed from the hotel, the street was clogged so traffic could not get through. I think he himself would have been more amazed at this spectacle.
Broadway's greatest stars were in shock.
I don't feel as much sorrow that he is dead as much joy that he lived.
According to the autopsy, Williams choked on a small cap from a plastic bottle of barbiturates. It's an explanation his brother has never accepted.
First of all, was too small to block the air passage and had absolutely nothing to do with his death. And where there's a cover-up, there has to be a reason for the cover-up. And the reason was that he was murdered.
Dakin Williams believes his brother was killed because he was about to change his will. Many others feel it was a form of suicide.
In fact, he took his own life. How deliberately, we don't know, but he took enough drugs deliberately that revealed to us the depth of despair with which he clearly had lived his final months. He wanted to close the door, and finally he did so.
Close friends argue that the actual cause of death was slow torture, administered by critics.
I think Tennessee was martyred by the bad reviews and kind of humiliated publicly by critics who just didn't understand.
And then came all the obits with the great praise. And I would like to take the noses of those who were on the destructive hunt and stick it in the obituaries and let them read what a heritage this man left.
Williams was buried in St. Louis, the city he associated with his lonely childhood, violent family quarrels, and his sister's descent into madness. It was also the city where Williams collected the raw material he shaped into his masterpieces, the plays powerful enough to stir the human soul.
I sent him a little gift once, and when the saleswoman said, "Where should I send it?" I said, "Tennessee Williams," and she said, "Tennessee Williams," and she just grabbed her heart. And I thought, you know, that's what he did to people.
The woman who grabbed Tennessee's heart is also dead. In September 1996, Rose Williams died in her nursing home. She was 87. Brother and sister, once inseparable, are together again. Their graves just a few feet apart in a St. Louis cemetery. On Rose's headstone, a line from the Glass Menagerie. "Blow out your candles, Laura." Tennessee's other great love, his work, is very much alive. His plays continue to captivate audiences around the world. Not just the famous ones, but also the experimental works that were so widely ridiculed.
Since he died, more and more of those little plays toward the end of his life have been produced, and people saying, "Wow, that's better than I thought it was."
When you come down to it, he is one of the great literary figures of this century, and he will last for quite a while into the millennium. I think you'll see his plays.
Tennessee Williams was blessed with the gift to arouse and inspire. His happiest moments were spent creating, using his typewriter as a painter uses a brush.
You have to have the spark of genius, which he has. That's what a great artist is. You have those people doing that on canvas, and you have them doing it with words. And my brother was, I think, the greatest. And always will be.
I always used to say of him, he's piped in. Tennessee's just piped directly into God with that kind of stuff. How else does that come out? God's at work somewhere, they're doing that.
Tennessee Williams left behind theatrical classics. They earned him praise and adulation as the century's greatest playwright. He personally felt the extremes of ecstasy and torment, then put them in words and on stage for others to see, to hear, and most of all, to feel.
I often wonder, how can anybody like me? And yet, occasionally I discover that somebody does.